I didn't think there'll be a day where we'll be looking at India versus West Indies and saying that it's do or die for the Indian cricket team, because never in the history of T20 cricket has India lost a series to West Indies which has been more than one game. So multiple games. There have been twice that West Indies has won a series against India, a T20 series. But on both those occasions, it was a single game that they won, and because of that, they won the series. But whenever it's been more than one game, India has never lost a T20I series, a bilateral T20I series to West Indies.
In fact,
and yet here we are.
In our first news the other day, that since 2016, first time that they lost 2 consecutive international matches to the West Indies. First in 7 years.
And in fact, since 2016, I think 16 or 17, this will be the first time that West Indies can win a bilateral series in any format against the Indians.
Wow. And I think it's also after a long time that West Indies is winning 2 series in a row.
Yeah, 2017 again, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 2 T20I series in a row.
Wow.
So
I wonder what the atmosphere must be like in the Indian dugout, in the Indian dressing
so I
room.
thought you were going to say what the atmosphere is going to be like in the ground. Should be nothing.
Be nothing because not many people go to watch the matches.
Exactly.
But they've been turning up. Let's not, mix the ODI and the T20I turnout. T20I, the
It's
celebration
relatively better. Relatively, even there you see plenty of empty seats. You
No, but
think you're
then
watching a Manchester City game.
You do.
It's in Manchester City game.
It's a notorious joke. The
Yeah.
stadium there'll always be empty seats somewhere. It's very weird.
It is.
Somewhere.
But it's very visible on the camera.
It is notorious but honest. It is a matter of fact.
Imagine a Manchester City game in an empty.
But no, not an empty stadium. But my point is like
third tier, I'll tell you, third tier, even on, and Citizen, if he's watching us right now, since he's been one of the more active Manchester City fans, even on Champions League nights, the third tier, you'll see empty seats.
There have been times you'll see the guy go to take a throw in. That's right there, ground level, and you'll see empty seats.
Anyway, there will be empty seats today. The game is being played in West Indies. As always, we've seen not full houses, but Harshit is right, or Mohit, that for the T20Is, you've had a better turnout.
Yeah.
That's because the folks in the West Indies, in the Caribbean, absolutely love T20. And it's not just the fans, but as well as the ones that come to watch the game, as well as the ones who play the game. Everyone.
Apparently, your mic is giving issues.
That's okay. This will catch.
It's not
Maybe it's not on.
Possible. Anyway, but yeah, actually, no. If you look at it in recent memory, T20Is has been that format for the West Indies, right? Where they're more successful, which would thus then be pulling in the crowds. I mean, in ODIs and Tests, they get hopelessly thrashed. Why would we wanted to pay a ticket to watch that?
Okay, a few questions. We usually take questions a little later, but few that are pertaining to the game, which is going to be starting in about 9-10 minutes. We'll have the toss and we'll bring you the latest update. Right now we're busy watching the no confidence debate
For some reason.
for some reason.
Well,
Which is
you
happening.
never know if the no confidence motion is, if it won't be passed. We know that. We know the number
Honestly,
game. But
in front of an India West Indies T20I, I don't
we can have a no confidence vote for our playing 11.
Exactly. No, not for playing 11. We'll have a confidence or a no confidence motion for the Indian team, because
the World Cup?
no, for this series of World Cup, though,
There's already no confidence.
we'll do about 150 show before that.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that one.
Right.
Today we are going to talk about
Just open the other tab.
T20I series, which is about to start. So we had plenty of folks sending in questions with predictions. At the start of our chat, I saw somebody
Other tab.
saying 5-0 West Indies is going to win. Then I saw certain predictions saying 3-2 India
tab.
is going to win.
Turnarounds.
So Harsha said 5-0. There was 3-2. So various other predictions that are coming. So I thought before we dive into the specifics, and one is of course the prediction of the playing 11. Many of you have asked that question also. So we'll address those two questions before the toss is done. After the toss, we'll get into various other debating points. Prediction from Harsha is 5-0 to West Indies. Prediction a little later was 3-2. Sorry, I missed your name.
Breaking news, and I just had to confirm because I saw it in the comments. Yashasvi Jaiswal been handed his cap.
Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Who went out?
Most likely Ishan, I'm guessing. Unless
I-
they
no,
or they
no,
could maybe
no.
remove Bishnoi.
Yes.
Extend the batting
think
attack.
because that 7 batter policy is not working
No,
out.
no, no. I'll come to that later. Quickly. We'll get to. He's giving you the breaking news. Yashasvi Jaiswal is making his debut. So that's one change. Who does he replace? We'll have our guesses. Before that, to the question that I'd asked. 5-0 was initially. Then Yashwant has said 3-2 India will win. What does everyone think?
I had said 3-2 at the start of the series. I just didn't say it home. I'll stick by
You said
3-2.
India.
I'll stick by 3-2, but for the West Indies now.
Woo!
Now it's a case of winning 1 out of 3 games. I'm sure they can do that.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a good jolt, good wake up call for India. 3-2 India win.
3-2 India win.
4-1 West Indies.
Oh, wow.
I think today's game India's win. But after that, you're right. 2 games played in the US. I'm going to split it 1-1 there, which means 3-2 West Indies.
Because again, if you go by Lauderhill, it's usually a pretty flat track.
Yeah.
Again,
Which is why I'm actually, giving that extra wind to the West Indies because their batters, unlike ours, are clicking.
No, but the
on flat tracks, so even our batters click
argument
balls.
exactly is that India is not doing well because you have a spin-friendly track, so you're not being able.
Think of the
I
one
agree.
ODI that was played on a
Flat track.
the
third one.
Everyone got run.
T20 format. Again, you give this team flat decks. It was a spinning deck that day, and then Puran scored the way that he scored, 67 or
But
40.
he's also a good player of spin. You have to give him that credit. Unlike a lot of Indian players now, can actually play spin well.
On flat
See,
tracks,
we've
India
got-
is a giant.
We've got a few other predictions. Mr. Fact has gone with 4-1 prediction for West
Same
Indies.
with Grim Reaper.
Grim Reaper's also
Interesting
gone
name.
4-1 for West Indies. We've got
Shankar Sharma 3-2 India.
3-2 India. Interesting. Somebody there point out that it's best to say 2-2 for now. Keep the interest alive, then we'll see what happens.
But that logic, you're making India win the next 2.
Which can happen.
It can happen. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
But that's not a strange thing if it happens.
Exactly.
Stranger things have happened.
No, I mean, winning the next
they
two,
don't
yeah.
find themselves in a situation that often that they have to save the series. It's not a usual situation.
So I am in fact saying something else, Shivam, that it's not going to be
Strange.
a strange thing if
Yeah.
India win the next 2. I'm actually supporting you when I'm saying that. Vivek has gone with 3-2 to India. Interesting, all your thoughts. Okay, now to the big news. As we've confirmed, Yashasvi Jaiswal making the debut. And let's have a prediction who he replaces.
Bishnoi.
You say Bishnoi.
I'll think about it.
You'll think
Let's go
about
to
it.
Harshit.
Bishnoi.
Bishnoi. I would have
Don't say Sanju.
I would have thought that it would have been a good idea to take a spinner out and bring a batter in for the balance. But after what Hardik has been saying, that we can't do much about our balance, I have a feeling that he will stick to that. And don't forget that Kuldeep Yadav missed out last time because of a forced injury.
So
If
tough.
the injury is not serious, if it's not serious, and if he's recovered, then I think Kuldeep comes in, and the only person he replaces then is Bishnoi. In which case, Bishnoi cannot be the guy who makes plays for Yashasvi Jaiswal. I then think the one who will go out will be Ishan Kishan. Ishan Kishan.
Ishan Kishan. What about Shubman?
No, Shubman's going to play. Shubman is
Shubman.
going to be fixed going forward. So, and also he's searching for form. With Ishan, you knew that they're going to be rotating him. He got an extended run
Yeah,
in
that's
test
true.
matches and ODI. And he would have got some sort of a rotation because I think they were going to rotate between Sanju and Ishan. And Sanju didn't get too many chances to begin with on the tour. So I think it'll be unfair to keep, Harshit's heart from breaking. I'm not suggesting that Sanju goes out. So Sanju stays. He didn't get that many chances. Sanju stays, in which case Ishan then goes out. Yashasvi Jaiswal gets in. I think that could be that one change if India are only making one change. The second change, if Kuldeep Yadav is fit, I'm guessing he'll definitely come back into the team in place of Ravi Bishnoi.
Bishnoi.
That though the ideal thing the ideal way to make your combination work would be to keep a spinner out between Kuldeep/Bishnoi or Yuzi. One of them goes out.
But you aren't dropping Yuzi now.
You know, you actually
You can allow
reminded
him
me
to
of.
bowl the last over. I won't be surprised if Yuzi is also dropped. Because that's how they've handled his career.
No, but I think what you said in the first place is actually I would start to, I'm leaning a little more towards what you said, and maybe I would want to change what I just said. Because
You can't, you already
Hardik, no, because you reminded me of what Hardik had suggested.
Yeah.
He said very clearly, you know, this is what it is, and this is what we'll have to make do with 7 batters, 4 bowlers, and we'll have to see how we can extract the most out of. By that logic, Ishan, and because you're bringing in an opener, somebody who likes to play right up top. Maybe
Yes,
Ishan.
which is why I think Ishan goes out, Jaiswal is already in, we know. And then if Kuldeep Yadav is fit, he comes in and Bishnoi goes out. There are also suggestions, as I said, some of you pointed out in the comment section that maybe Akshar Patel could be that guy who goes out. I doubt that is going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Because Akshar, many are saying that you're not bowling him, you're only using him as a batsman. So him going out would be okay. But what that does is, doesn't improve your batting. If you're looking to extend your batting, if Akshar goes out and Yashasvi comes in, you're still batting at number 7 only. So it's not going to extend that balance that you're looking at. The only way that balance can be improved is if a proper spinner goes out. Or if you're ready to risk a fast bowler goes out, only stick with 2 fast bowlers in Hardik. Because now Hardik seems like he'll be bowling full 4. Get another fast bowler to bowl and then hope your spinners
Get the job done.
But that I don't think they'll do. They'll stick with the 3 fast bowlers, then the spinners. And why is it that I say now, you know, one, your batting is still 7, and you may look at Akshar as a all-rounder and think that him going out and Yashasvi coming in strengthens your batting. It does not strengthen your batting in terms of position firstly, and I don't think the team also sees it in a way that Akshar is not a proper batsman, because I think the Indian team has viewed him as a proper batsman. And to be fair, he may not have kicked in this recent white ball series that he's played in the West Indies. To be fair, his record with the bat in IPL and in white ball cricket, whether it was ODI or T20, the last year or so has been outstanding.
I would argue even red ball cricket.
Even in Test cricket,
yes.
A few good knocks with the bat.
Yes.
Absolutely. So he was so good with the bat that you at one point also thought of risking him and taking him at number 4.
You did play him at number 4 in one of the,
That's what
I think
I'm saying,
second
ODI.
ODI.
Second
Second
ODI,
ODI, you played
So
him at number
where
4.
you are seeing him as a proper bat, and that's why you're happy on a situation where he doesn't bowl, because you're seeing him as a proper bat, that he will do the job that any other batter would do. So right now you're not looking at it as a bowling all-rounder saying, oh, you know, we're just taking him because he's, you know, bits and pieces, like he'll give us some batting and bowling. No, you're saying that no, as a batter he's a match winner, so we're taking him. If by chance the situation allows us, he gets an over in or 2. Even if he does not, we're happy with him just being a batter. I think that's how the team is viewing it. That's why him going out, I don't think makes sense right now. And with Jadeja not around, I don't think you have any other option but to continue playing him. Unless the team then thinks that we're not going to be bowling him at all, at least that's what Hardik has shown so far. Then you make that choice. But I doubt that Akshar goes out.
No, I don't see him going out. It has to be one of the bowlers. And most likely a spinner.
Yeah. And most likely,
Not Yuzi.
could be Yuzi. Don't be too sure. Could be Yuzi. Could be Yuzi.
Very unfortunate.
Just waiting for the toss update to come, and it's.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's a little delayed because even on the broadcast it hasn't.
That's because, by the way, please check. Shivam, can you please remove this? I'll tell you when we are going to go to this. Can you please give us? Yeah, there was rain expected today. Right now, also the latest coming in from Guyana is that it's a little bit cloudy. The pitch that is going to be used today is the same pitch as the second T20I in the series and the first T20I that was played in Guyana. So the boundary is also not too long, 66 on one side, 67 on the other side, 77 meters straight. So smallish ground. I think our CK Play Station has bigger boundaries than 66 on both sides. The pitch is good, but it's a bit dry. There's no grass at all, as you saw in that previous T20I. It's hard, the pitch. But as is being pointed out, spin will play a little more leading role in wicket taking as compared to fast bowling, which is why I don't think India is going to deviate from its plan of playing 3 spinners. That includes Akshar Patel, that includes a Yuzi Chahal, and then that includes a Kuldeep / Bishnoi. This is dependent on Kuldeep's fitness. If he's fit, he's in. Otherwise, Bishnoi plays. So no changes there. So the only way you are making or bringing Yashasvi in is by asking
Ishan to go out.
Yeah.
Toss time.
Fine.
Unless anybody else has any.
Gargi, you've made your mind?
Can we
Yeah.
see the
Ishan.
comments, please?
Ishan's going out.
Yeah. For me, it's simple. You replace an opener.
Opener with an opener,
Yeah.
lefty with a lefty.
Yeah.
So Sai Srivastav is saying if Hardik says that they are
this
learning again,
San-
I will also give this idea to my manager that we are.
It's a process.
Again?
Sanju will then be keeping the wickets, by the way, if Ishan goes out.
Yeah, of course.
So West Indies, Rahman Powell once again winning the toss. He won in the first game. The second game, Hardik
won.
Yeah.
Now it's gone back to Rahman Powell. He's won and
Chosen to bat.
They're going to bat first.
Looks, if it's a hard, nice deck,
No, but it's not a hard, nice deck. It's probably it'll get harder to bat in the second innings.
Exactly the same strip that was used the last game.
if it's a spin friendly track, I think you would want to bat first, let the surface get older, maybe
That's
get
that's
extra
what-
spin.
that's
And
what
also, Holder is not playing. Rustin Chase comes in. Another reason.
Yeah.
Holder's got a niggle. That's why.
No, but
Oh,
that's
he
interesting.
He put
That's
his hammy
interesting.
the moment he stepped out.
Yeah. When he
To
got out
Yuzi
to
Chahal.
Yuzi
Yes,
Chahal.
yes.
But Rahman Powell said they will bat first, so West Indies have won the toss, batting first. Many would find it surprising considering India did the same thing and then ended up on the losing side. But what Rahman is saying, which is true, he says it's a slow wicket, and as the game progresses, it will get tougher for batting.
Exactly.
It may have been the same for West Indies also. It's just that Nicholas Pooran played a blinder.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, they also could have ended up on the losing side. And then, of course, India made a few blunders when it came to captaincy. One change for West Indies. Holder is out. If you remember, as Harshit points out, when he got out, he was in a bit of pain at that moment when
At that very moment,
Chahal
yeah.
got him stumped. So he went out. And then they've got Rustin Chase in, which is again suggestion that this is going to help spinners. So they've taken a fast bowling all-rounder out. A spin bowling all-rounder has come in Rustin Chase. So he'll bowl a bit of off-spin as well as he's a decent bat. So I think in terms of balance, it's I didn't think I'll ever say it, but
They've
Holder
actually
going
improved their
out,
balance.
They've improved it. And with a Jason Holder going out,
Exactly.
that is bench strength.
I know.
Not the strength. Let me tell you the Indian team. So you've got Shubman Gill, Yashasvi, Jaiswal playing. So Ishan Kishan is the
out.
one who makes the way. So Shubman, Yashasvi, Jaiswal, your openers. Surya Kumar Yadav at number 3. Tilak Verma, the man in form at number 4. Hardik Pandya is your captain at 5. Who could bat at 6 like last time. Sanju Samson, breathe easy, is there. Had to be there once Ishan Kishan went out. Somebody had to keep the wickets. So he comes in at number 6 or could bat at 5. This is not the batting order, just telling you the 11 out there. There's Akshar Patel. As we said, there was no chance that Akshar wouldn't be playing. Here's the interesting bit which I pointed out. Kuldeep Yadav is back. And I expected that change to happen because he was out because of a forced injury. He comes back. There's Arshdeep Singh. Breathe easy. Yuzi Chahal is there.
So it's Bishnoi
and
who
Mukesh
goes out,
Kumar.
yeah.
So exactly what we were discussing. Exact to the point that there were going to be 2 changes. If Kuldeep Yadav was fit, he'll definitely come in for Bishnoi. And if Yashasvi was making his debut, it
Ishan.
had to be for Ishan Kishan.
So we've basically gone
that's
back to
done.
the first T20I squad, just made that swap between Yashasvi and
Ishan. You've kept the same.
you
team,
get the same otherwise.
essentially.
Yeah.
No surprises, thoughts on the team?
I mean, I would have expected them to put their batting a little deep, but again, it would mean batting someone out of position. Maybe this is the only thing you could have done. Maybe they want to give Yashasvi a chance because we were talking about with Tilak. We know he has no chance of playing in the ODIs. He's playing freely. Same with
Could they
Yashasvi.
have done anything different, you said?
No, maybe
Ideal 11?
ideal would be as close to ideal because you don't have anyone else to extend your batting. So it's a problem.
No, I think this is a good team, and we needed a little bit of batting strength in our team, looking at how we've performed in the past few games. So I think
I have a
Yashasvi-
solution, but I'll come to it. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Yashasvi I think brings a lot of uniqueness,
Or
to
power.
a lot of power as well to the team. So I think this is a good one, because also I think pretty predictable as well, because everyone had been talking about in the management as well that this is the time we chop and change and experiment before the World Cup. So I think everyone will get a chance.
You think the best possible balance available?
Yeah, this one, yes.
I think the balance doesn't change much. Firstly, you bringing in a debutant, you've taken a man out of form. The only expectation from Yashasvi would be, and I was looking at some numbers this morning, he was one of the few batters in this year's IPL whose strike rate was much better than some of the batters playing in this team. He batted at around 167 this whole IPL. So what I'm looking at Yashasvi, and this is something I would expect him to do better than Ishan if you brought him in, is give India that impetus at the very start.
Okay, now firstly, I feel that Yashasvi coming in for Ishan Kishan, even though Harshit feels that, man in form is out, I think strengthens your batting. Why? Because we may be confusing format. Now, Ishan got you runs, but those runs came in test matches and ODIs. Ishan's last, I think, 16, 17 T20 games, he's averaging less than 20. He's averaging less than 20. His strike rate is also less than 70, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just telling you from the top of my head. So don't murder me if my numbers are slightly skewed, but it's there and thereabout. His average is below 20. His strike rate is also not great. So on both counts in T20 cricket, it's not been great. Even in this T20 series, it's not been great. Yashasvi, on the other hand, had an outstanding IPL. He's the man in form in whichever format that he plays. So firstly, that replacement has strengthened the Indian team. The other thing that Yashasvi offers, which we may not see, is a spin bowling option. Yashasvi can bowl some spin. Whether the captain uses him or not, I doubt he'll be used, because when you didn't use someone like an Akshar Patel, there's not going to be too much of a chance for Yashasvi. Also, Yashasvi, the leg break, and you've already got 2 leg break bowlers, there's very slim chance that he's going to bowl. That said, while I agree that your batting has become slightly stronger, and that's because of personnel to personnel, the balance is still not there. And I kind of guessed it, which is why when you made the team, I kind of guessed that the balance would not be there, because of Hardik Pandya saying it again and again, that this is what we have, we'll have to make do with it, which was a clear-cut signal that India is not looking to set that balance right. In their opinion, this is the best balance that they can go with. However, I have a suggestion, which I think could have strengthened your team's balance, which is, I would have made one change in this team, is to take a spinner out. As harsh as it would sound, I would take a spinner out and bring a batter in. Okay, so if that means Ishan Kishan comes in, okay, he's at least giving me that batting that much, and I would have taken one between a Kuldeep and a UC out. I know that's a big risk, but then I probably would allow Akshar to bowl, or I could have gone the other way. If Akshar has not been able to give me those 4 overs because he's a left armer and there are too many lefties, when am I going to try a Tilak Verma and his off spin? So if I've got a Tilak in my team who can give me a bit of off spin and an Akshar Patel, I'm not saying both are 100% safe bowling options, but between the two I can look to cover 4 overs, and I would look to cover my 4 overs between these two, not one single-handedly. Maybe start with Akshar, maybe if he doesn't have a good game like he didn't have in the first T20. He started off well. You gave him, by the way, I think you were a bit harsh. You gave him 1 over in the power play to begin with, the third over I think, and he gave away just 8 runs. Then he got another over in the power play where he got tonked because Nicholas Pooran hit him for a 6 and a 4, and he ended up with 2 overs, 22 runs, and he never bowled him after that, never bowled him in the next game also, because you got scared of what Pooran did in that 1 over. Maybe that was harsh. Anybody could have gotten tonked. Also, he bowled in the power play. It would have been very different to take a risk against the spinner when the field was spread out as compared to a power play where he bowled. So I don't think he's that bad a bowler. Maybe you could have gone with more overs. In case he was, again, not to have a great day, give an over or 2 to Tilak Verma. Yeah, that's how you will develop an all-rounder. That is how you will develop we keep saying we don't have a Virender Sehwag anymore, or a Yuvraj Singh, or a Suresh Raina. All of these who used to bowl. Try him out. Get him to bowl a few off spin. And between that, I will look to balance my bowling. Hypothetically, if it's, Kuldeep who's not playing. Just give an example. So I look to balance my bowling between UZ, Akshar, Tilak Verma, Hardik Pandya, Mukesh Kumar and Arshdeep Singh. I still have 6 bowling options, right? Between this, I think I won't do too badly to what my other bowling lineup would do. What that would allow me is to have batting till number 8 now, with Ishan also playing and Yashasvi also playing, batting at 8, which is not just one extra batter, but also allows all your batters to, play that aggressive, fearless cricket that you're talking about. You keep saying that West Indies were 2 runs for 2 wickets, and yet they continue to play like that. That's because they had number 9 Akil Hussain.
Exactly.
What India does not have. So if you had made a batting order that long till number 8, that would allow it. So that's my solution. We could have looked at, but I knew heart of heart that they won't change.
No, that's what I had said also when I said that if you wanted to make any change, if you wanted to bring in a Yashasvi, bring him in for 1 spinner. But again, you knew that they're not going to do that. And actually now if you look at it, as you said, West Indies, the balance looks so much better. Why? Because they still have 9 batting options, but now 2 spinners.
Yeah.
And that might actually put them in good stead. In the worst case, who knows? If they find the pitch deteriorating really badly, Nicholas Pooran, another off-spin option.
Yep.
And I think the reason behind that being, and I still don't think that Tilak will be given the ball to it, because I think now the series is on the line. You don't want your 6th option to be, a combination of 2 bowlers.
What has happened? I agree, the series on the line. You want to win the game, right? So what has happened in the 2 T20Is that you played? The amount of runs that you've got have not been good enough. Why have you not been able to get those many runs? Because you do not have batting beyond 7. You are effectively playing with 4 number 11s. How do you sort that out? My point is that your bowling has been whatever you expected out of them.
Yeah,
in both games,
bowling was not disappointed really.
So that's what my point is. I'm saying that is an area where if you were to remove 1 spinner and get, maybe you may not even need Tilak. I counted 6 bowling options in that
Akshar
game.
wasn't used,
So maybe you get just all 5 to bowl their quota and you don't need Tilak. I'm saying in case Akshar also has a similar day like the one that he had in that first T20I, then you have an option. Go for an over or 2 to a Tilak, or even Yashasvi, I don't know. Get an over or 2 here. I'm saying that does not drastically take away from you winning a game. How much it is taking away when you do not have a number 8 batter. So as soon as you have a number 8 batter, your bowling, so to strengthen your batting, if you're going to make your bowling very weak, then I would say, the balance is going over. Now here you're strengthening your batting, but your bowling is not getting that much more weaker.
That is not getting weaker. It's already probably your weakest strength right now. Your weakest point. So even if you remove another and you only go with 6, it's fine.
Could have. That's how I would think of. But that's not how the team is thinking at the moment. And why is the team not thinking like that? That's a big question. And that kind of was answered, or at least addressed, by a former India player. His name is Parthiv Patel. We'll have his quote up on your screen, and maybe that is something that we can debate as well. Now this is Parthiv Patel, who's recently said that Hardik Pandya, the captain, has been brilliant for Gujarat Titans with the support of Ashish Nehra. Remember, Ashish Nehra and Hardik Pandya's combination has got them 1 IPL title and 1 final. They've only played 2 seasons of IPL, and if you look at the percentage success rate right now, small sample size for them, 2 seasons, but it will be even better than a Mumbai Indians or a Chennai Super Kings.
Correct.
To just play 2 IPLs and to win one and make the final of the other, incredible success rate. And that's happened because of Hardik Pandya and Ashish Nehra's combination, right? But Parthiv Patel goes on to say, but is Rahul Dravid the proactive coach or person which we are looking for in the T20 format? I don't think so. He's asked the question and then answered it. We need someone who is proactive, he says. Hardik Pandya has that spark, but he needs that support, which to me Rahul Dravid doesn't provide. Before I go across the room, and I'll hold my comments about what he said, but I'll just mention that it's such a refreshing change for an Indian cricketer to come out and say what's on his mind. I'm sure everyone has. I'm not saying what he's saying is right or wrong. We'll get to that a little later. We'll debate it. But my point is, it's so rare for a former India player to say what's on his mind. I'm sure everyone has an opinion, whether it's good, wrong, and sometimes I've been, part of those room or lounge conversations where everyone has a very strong opinion, but that's only behind the cameras. When you go on the camera, you seldom hear any former player say it. Why? Because they know each other. Now here's Parthiv Patel, who's played under Rahul Dravid. Here is Parthiv Patel, who's been a teammate of Rahul Dravid for a long time. I'm sure they share a good rapport. And Parthiv is a very likable, lovable sort of a guy, right? He's never the one to, antagonize anybody.
Yeah.
But the fact that he said it about. Also, apart from him being his former captain and teammate, imagine the stature that Rahul Dravid has. So even if you weren't a teammate or anything, you're going to be very wary of saying something about him. All of that put together, the fact that Parthiv Patel has said this is unusual. I think it's good because, people in these positions like Parthiv, I'm not saying what he said is right or wrong. We'll get to that later. I'm saying the fact that he's expressed his opinion is good. We want more and more cricketers to do that because only then Indian cricket can benefit, right? You need to come out with your opinion. If you sugarcoat everything, then the right decisions may not be taken. So Parthiv has come out and said it. Now let's go across the room as to, is there merit in what Parthiv is saying? Do you agree with him? You totally disagree with him? You partly agree with him? Let's start with Gargi this time.
Yeah, so I think Parthiv Patel, since you mentioned that he's played under him, he's been a teammate of Rahul Dravid. Clearly, Parthiv Patel knows something we don't, right? Because he's saying that Hardik Pandya has this spark in him, and Rahul Dravid isn't proactive as someone like a Ashish Nehra or something. Maybe he knows how Rahul Dravid's mind works, or what he's looking for. Maybe we don't know that yet, or we haven't identified it as of now. But since India is a team in transition, why not make another change?
Yeah, in terms of coaching?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because changes are not always bad.
I mean, see, I think it's
change is the only constant.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see that Rahul Dravid, the coach, who was encouraging young players to play freely, be expressive. We haven't seen that Rahul Dravid yet. The problem is Indian cricket, it's a notoriously let's say hard space to be in. You have to, the only thing that succeeds here is like success, because again it's a sport that it's the mass sport in India, and you would expect with the kind of bench strength you have that you get that success. Again, I don't think his assessment is far off the mark based on what we've seen from Rahul Dravid, the T20 coach. And maybe, I don't know, you're going the way of split captaincy anyway. Maybe take another leaf out of certain teams' books and go the way of split coaching. I don't know. I would be in favor of having two different coaching setups for white ball and red ball. Again,
white ball as in ODI also. No?
Yes.
She only spoke about T20.
No, I would like to see even a full different setup for red and white. So not just, again, I think it makes no sense having just a T20I coach.
England did it, I think.
England have done it. I think Australia, no, they have Andrew McDonald
only, I think.
Yeah. No, but I'm a fan of that.
You think that what Parthiv's saying?
There is some merit to it, yes.
Mohit?
I have my doubts. Again, results haven't gone Rahul Dravid's way, but even then, I just want to know from Parthiv Patel how exactly he defines.
We can't get him to answer.
Exactly. I'm just saying, if he would have just elaborated over there, since he answered his own question, maybe you could have elaborated on what he means by proactiveness.
He's come out and at least spoken his mind on.
So, but then when I look at Rahul Dravid, the coach, of course, there's a lot of murky decision making that's happened. But you look at somebody like a Mukesh, who's made his debut across formats and one tour. You had about so many captains play under him. We questioned all of those captaincy changes and players being dished out, their maiden caps as well. All of this has happened on Rahul Dravid's watch. Then again, Yashasvi also making his debut. So I'm not sure of the proactive bit that he's talked about here. I think Rahul Dravid does tick the boxes for me as far as being proactive is concerned. Rather, I would hold him guilty for being overly proactive and not being so experimental. If he wasn't so experimental, maybe he wasn't this proactive then.
But I think Harshit has a point. I look at that statement. proactiveness is someone who's taking initiative and trying to things. And I agree with him. I think the one criticism that you can have towards this team, and I don't know who's taking the decision, because again, we wouldn't know if it's the captain or the coach, or it's a joint decision. But I see extra bit of experimentation that is happening, right? So on that front, he's been too proactive. I would want him a little less proactive. But again, to give Parthiv the benefit of the doubt, you don't know whether he's talking about proactive in terms of just giving players chances. The proactiveness could be based on decision making, whether it is, which bowler to come at this. For example, I'll give you an example. He compared him with the Ashish Nehra and Hardik Pandya. You saw how proactive Ashish Nehra is. And it's not about the 11. It's about proactive as in what needs to be done, because T20, unlike Test or whatever, moves at such a rapid pace. 1 over here or there, things change. So in terms of proactiveness, you've seen from an Ashish Nehra making or helping the captain make those decisions instantly. Every 2 overs, there's a big decision that needs to be made, whether it's in terms of bowling changes, field placement, what lengths to bowl, what lines to bowl, who to send. And maybe Parthiv knows that those proactive decisions, because in T20, things are changing so fast, that isn't happening. So while Rahul Dravid may be proactive in terms of rotating players, but the proactiveness in terms of decision making whilst the game is on may not be there. And why I would tend to believe Parthiv, and I think Gargi mentioned that, was that you got to remember that Parthiv is not just a former teammate, he is now actively involved with IPL teams. He is with Mumbai Indians for the long time, right? You could see him in the dugouts. He's been part of their scouting team. So now it's very obvious that each person in a setup of an IPL team knows exactly what the other team is doing, knows exactly who's taking what calls in what IPL team. We could sit like miles away and then say that this decision was taken by this or this, but if you are part of the coaching team of one IPL franchise, you know exactly who was behind what decision that was taken, because a lot of players that are in your team are friends with teammates from the other team. They know exactly who took what call in what dressing room and how it was done. So when Parthiv Patel comes out and says, I would have to say that it's a very informed comment that he's making. He's not guessing. He's not sitting from miles away and saying that XYZ is not proactive. He's saying, because he knows a lot of these players who are now playing for Indian team. He knows a lot of players that were playing in the Gujarat team under Hardik's captaincy. He knows who or what or how decisions were made then and how decisions are being made now. And that's why he makes the comparison. So when a Parthiv Patel says that, I will take it seriously, because as I said, he's making a very informed comment. It's not guessing. It's not sitting from the outside and just some sort of guesswork. So what he's saying could be, and there is another thing that kind of goes in Parthiv Patel's favor, and this is what we saw. Don't forget that Rahul Dravid spent some time being the decision maker in 2 IPL teams. One was Rajasthan Royals as their head coach, and then as mentor with Delhi Daredevils, the erstwhile Delhi Capital. And if you look at the results of these 2 teams in those 2 tenures, I'm afraid doesn't make for great reading.
Exactly.
So there is some. Again, it's not always great players make great coaches. And that's not to say Rahul Dravid is not a good coach. Maybe great players do make good coaches, but only in certain formats and not all formats also. So there could be many variables attached. But if you were to look at the comments coming out from people who are part of that system, so to say, and certain results that have happened under Rahul Dravid earlier, it kind of suggests that what Parthiv Patel is saying right now may not be too far away from that.
Also, as far as experimentation, I think that's been board policy for years now. I'm not going to give the credit or criticism of that to the head coach. That's something, that's let's say, growing pains or part of the working equation that he has at BCCI. That's been true from the Ravi Shastri era. In fact, even prior, when there was no head coach to speak of, that was always the case. When Virat Kohli was, in essence, the most powerful man in Indian cricket, experimentation was something that was always going on. So this is nothing new. I think with why he also points out is because Nehra is someone who's so involved that at times Pandya has had to tell him to go back and sit down.
Yeah. But it's working.
Exactly, and it works.
I'm telling you, in T20 cricket, It's, in Test cricket, if I miss a over change here or there, let's say if I didn't bring the right bowler now and I brought him 3 overs late,
Doesn't make a
gonna
difference.
too much of a difference in my result.
Yeah.
In T20, one bad bowling change in 1 over.
It's changing your
We
game.
saw it the previous match.
Yep.
Correct.
It's gone. And that's another debate we can have for a later
Lots
date.
and lots.
Lots of questions. Mehraj Rule from Canada is saying, does new team has lack of skill or lack of form? I quickly answer that. I don't think lack of skill could be an issue.
No.
Don't tell me Shubman Gill has
We
less
missed a few,
skill
I think.
than any other batter in the world. Don't tell me Suryakumar Yadav has less skill than any other batter in the world. Don't tell
Tilak.
me Tilak Verma.
Shubman, Kishan, whoever.
It's
Whatever.
Players
just
are there for a reason.
form.
Yeah, it's just form and maybe in the mindset that they are, because there was too much confusion as to they're all playing for their position. They all are looking at the ODI World Cup,
Yeah.
all of them. They want to make a
Splash.
place there. And so when you are worried, when you're not playing with freedom, then this kind of things happen, which has happened. Satish B is saying, Shane is a big fan of you, of your predictions.
Thank you.
He's saying not like other people who are biased. Your top 3 teams for World Cup.
Thank you very much. Actually, to be fair, he's right in that sense that last 2 World Cups, 2022, T20 World Cup, I picked England to win it. FIFA World Cup, I picked Argentina to win it. I still pick England to win this year.
The
2023 ODI World Cup.
ODI World Cup. He's picked England. Okay.
But thank you, Satish. Appreciate the love.
Please, thank you.
Ramani Remo.
He's
Hardik Pandya, what is it required?
He's been tongue in cheek.
No,
He's saying that he requires GD players like Sai Sudarshan and Vijay Shankar in the playing 11. But to be fair, I think whose comment was it?
No, or is he saying that at that time Hardik won because he had players like Sai Sudarshan and Vijay Shankar?
Well,
He could say that as well. He could mean
that's
that.
could
too.
mean that too, but I think
Ramani Remo, at least read the full question. So Ramani Remo is saying Hardik Pandya required Gujarat Titan players Sai Sudarshan and Vijay Shankar.
it's yes, Shubman Gill.
Yeah, well, he's got enough big players here. If it's tongue in cheek, then Sai Sudarshan and Vijay Shankar not making it to this team anymore.
Certainly not Vijay Shankar.
He had a good IPL.
Who?
His one knock got sunk in the Rinku Singh 5-6s.
Oh, yeah.
Vijay Shankar.
Just because Siddharth's not here, you guys are.
Yeah, because otherwise we'd be talking another 20 more minutes.
Okay.
Tanmay Joshi, he says, what does this selection say? Team is not mixing formats.
True, because otherwise they wouldn't have dropped Ishan.
What is it? He's saying what this selection says, team is not mixing format.
That's correct. Because otherwise Ishan wouldn't have been dropped considering you're looking at him to play a pivotal part in your ODI World Cup.
No, but I'm not too sure. I tell you why. They're also doing this selection to figure out a lot of things. So they need to figure out
The combination.
Sanju Samsung also.
Yeah.
I don't think they've made up, though I agree Ishant Kishan is ahead in that wicketkeeper batter race, but I don't think Sanju's like
He's not down and
out
out.
of it.
Yeah.
So they're still looking at those options.
Oh.
There's a delay as usual.
Yeah.
Investing must have been something to do with playing conditions.
We don't quite know.
Yeah, I think the issue could be, it is overcast there, but there could be something to do with the conditions that they've come.
I think there's some
come back.
logistical issue maybe or something, because the umpire was the first one to scurry across.
That was that the umpire?
Yeah, it was first the
Yeah, the
umpire.
pink
then-
shirt guy was the umpire.
Yeah.
Oh, may have been like, let's say DRS is not working or something like
Maybe
that.
there's a dog on the field. No, that only happens in India. Yeah.
Oh, that's not happening. Game's been delayed. Good. More time for us.
Yes, we can chat a little bit more. I think there's
Yeah.
some more comments now. Let's take.
Uh-huh.
Praneeth Datta says that Hardik likes playing proper bowlers, which is evident even in the IPL. Not having proper bowlers is not his style. That's Rohit Sharma's style. Yeah, the Rohit Sharma jibe is unnecessary, but he's right.
No.
Generally speaking,
No, I'll tell you why.
he
There he can play proper bowlers because you have the impact player rule.
and not.
So the team combination changes.
But that was
now.
just this year.
No, 2022 is the same. He generally speaking, but he also has another advantage. There he has 2 all-rounders who he can bank on. One is of course himself, and the other is Rashid Khan.
And a
By the way,
Tevate
sorry,
who he
sorry.
doesn't utilize.
Quick update. The delay is because the 30-yard circle has not been marked out.
Craziest delay ever. In
Even our CK PlayStation has the 30-yard circle marked out at all times.
So,
How do you forget
just
that?
repeating, the game that was supposed to start 2 minutes ago, the first ball should have been bowled,
Yeah.
has been delayed. Players have gone out from
I
both
can't
teams,
believe I'm watching this.
because the 30-yard circle, the inner circle, has not been marked. As you know, it's always marked by those, what do you call
Chalks.
those? No, not chalks. You have those round.
Run in which you mark your run up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
I'm forgetting what they're
plastic-
called. but those
plastic
plastic.
marker.
Yeah.
Those discs.
Plastic, round discs,
Yeah.
which are like used
But
as
now
markers.
are they eyeballing it?
No, they've
They're
got
gonna mark
the.
it now.
No, but they've started putting the discs.
No, because you know what happens usually. There's a rough idea that the groundsmen have because sometimes the grass is cut like that or something.
That's
but
true.
but for the benefit of the players, you put those markers.
Yeah,
down.
that's true.
So now what they'll do is they'll run onto the field with the markers and quickly put it in that area, which they know roughly.
Maybe we should do a video, the absurd ways in which
We
matches got
should.
delayed.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing that video. It'll be up very soon.
Crazy.
Absurd
Serious.
reasons.
So because the 30-yard circle wasn't marked, the game has been
They're
delayed.
back.
And that points out to the fact that if you remember, Hardik Pandya said they were very disappointed with the organizing
Facilities.
West
Yes.
Even
So-
Ashwin.
Ashwin
This
has
is-
pointed that out. So just to let you know, a few things that they were not happy about was like the kind of food that was being provided to the team, the kind of buses that they were traveling in. We've done a video on that on Sports Today, a detailed video with exclusive details actually. What is it that was really leaving the Indian players not too happy? One was the buses, like they had like 10-seater buses, so they had to have like 3 buses for the entire team. And
Mini buses they provided, so the players had to move in batches. Then there were a couple of occasions on which there were flight delays. Dominica was the place where there wasn't food provision according to the liking of the Indian team. So all of that put together.
now you can add one more thing to the list. The game
No
started
30-yard
late
circle?
because 30-yard circle.
30. Yeah.
This is the winner.
This is the winner. This takes the
Best.
cake.
Cherry on top.
This takes the cake. Okay, game is about to start. Quickly take a couple more questions. So that also happens in the IPL. You were pointing out something on that, Shay, were you?
Yeah, I'm saying is that even for 2022, when there was no impact player rule, he had the same. But of course, he also does have proper other bowling options. He never bowls Tewatia.
Yes.
Despite the fact that he's a more than capable leg break bowler, but he also
And
has.
Tewatia recognizes himself as a bowling all-rounder.
He was the 3rd or 4th highest wicket taker in the 2023 SMA-T.
17 wickets if I'm not wrong.
Exactly, and he doesn't bowl. But yeah, he still has himself and Rashid, 2 quality all-rounders to bank on. It's not like he plays 6 batsmen and 5 bowlers. And by the way, in modern T20, that template just doesn't work where you have specialists.
Yeah.
The best of teams will have at least 2 or 3 all-rounders.
Look at England.
Australia. One more comment is there. Sobhan Sai says, I find it funny that Rahul Dravid, who is the coach of the under-19 prodigies and made them win World Cups, it's hard to be Rahul Dravid because the players are injured and when a team fails, we're not criticizing the team and directly him.
No, I agree. But see, injuries are part and parcel of the game, right?
And the buck always stops with the manager and coach.
No, here it stops with the captain in cricket.
In cricket, yeah, where I'm mixing with football.
Which is why that proactiveness, no. I'd expect Hardik to be more proactive. Why does he? See, we've criticized captains or rather, coaches hold those, banners and all or give indicators. We've seen that happen in
I'm
the
not
past
criticizing.
where you wanted a change.
But if the sport is evolving, you'll have to do it.
You can't say just because Rahul Dravid not standing on the rope over there and having an animated chat with
it's
him.
It's not guesswork. I just said it's been made by a guy who would know what's happening. So it's not guesswork that he's made that comment.
Plus, Dravid, I think if we're talking about his IPL tenures, the most memorable moment I have of him in the dugout was when he chucked his cap.
Yeah.
So he's really
And
not
that
that.
season, if I'm not mistaken,
Aditya
Rajasthan
Tare.
were cruising.
We were cruising and bottled it.
And
Yeah.
bottled
Very
that
politely. They
This
really
year as
bottled
well.
it. They had to win in
This year as
14.4 overs.
Even this year, they had 12 points or something already, 10 points.
And they ended up losing out.
Yep.
Mr. Shekhar, result is reflection of process. Harshit may serve billions of benefit of doubt to Dravid, but series loss in South Africa, New Zealand, Bangladesh, Australia at home, Asia Cup and thrashing in T20 World Cup will always serve a failure reminder.
Take that, Harshit.
Has he also mentioned about the West Indies series?
No, it's still.
Oh, there's still time for
India
that.
won ODI as well as.
And test.
Yeah.
Chandresh is asking, is it Barbie Day on Sports Today? Why is he asking that?
Because
I'm
you all are
wearing-
both wearing pink. If it were Barbie Day, everyone would be in pink actually.
We should do
I
that.
haven't seen it.
I
Neither
have.
do I intend to.
I have.
We could plan it the day Nikhil takes us for the movie.
Why would you want to be
I'll do
taken
that.
by
Why not?
for Barbie of all
Not that
movies?
I'll see it.
Why not? It's very good. They say.
It's a very
It's good.
movie.
It's okay. It's not great. I am not.
Shame.
Oh please, Shane. It's
No,
okay.
I've heard good things about it.
It's good, not great. Let's put it that way.
It's
Now you've seen it, no?
Yeah.
I'm the Oppenheimer guy, which I went and saw as soon as it was released. But and I loved it. But I don't know about Barbie.
I had that expression too, but I've been told other things that challenges patriarchate. You know, it touches upon other
Acha,
social aspects.
serious
Yes.
Yeah, it's not actually an
Yeah,
animated
it's
movie
not
for
that
kids.
gooey,
It's not.
let's say, as it appears from the
Really not.
outside. So that exactly the expression that I had. Then I was corrected by somebody.
And I'll go in.
yes.
Maybe sports today will.
It's a very good.
Sports
We
this
can
is
go.
day out.
We will. Okay, the game is started. Thank you so much for your company. We'll try and take more questions when we come for the mid innings. Hopefully, there are no rain delays and we get to see a full game. Looking forward to it.
Were the boundary ropes there? I forgot
I
that.
think so. Hope so. I hope so. The game wouldn't have started. Bye bye. See you.